Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment that you are floating down a vast, flowing river. The water is gentle yet persistent, carrying you along its course without effort. You don't resist it, nor do you attempt to control its direction. You trust its flow. This is the essence of life when we choose to trust the universe. There's an innate wisdom in existence, a rhythm that orchestrates everything from the galaxies above to the smallest leaf trembling in the wind. It's a rhythm we are a part of, yet often we struggle against it. We grasp for control, we cling to certainty, and we fear the unknown. But what if we let go? What if we allowed the current to guide you? Imagine standing by the edge of a river. The water flows effortlessly, winding its way through rocks and valleys, unhurried yet persistent. It neither fights its path nor questions its course, it simply moves, guided by a force greater than itself. In many ways, this river is a metaphor for life. There is a natural rhythm to existence, a current that carries all things forward. Yet, as humans, we often resist this flow, attempting to impose our will on it, fearing where it might lead. But what if we let go of this resistance? What if we trusted the flow of life as the river trusts its own path? To live in harmony with the flow of life is to embrace a profound truth. Life is not something we need to control. It is a process that unfolds naturally whether we resist it or not. Consider the seasons; they change without effort. The sun rises and sets without a single push from us. Even our own bodies operate in this way. Our hearts beat, our lungs breathe, our cells regenerate, all without conscious intervention. Life flows whether we notice it or not. And the more we align ourselves with this flow, the more we find peace. Resistance to life's flow comes from a place of fear and the illusion of control. We plan meticulously, cling to expectations, and struggle when reality doesn't match our desires. We treat life as if it were a project to manage or a puzzle to solve. But life is not a problem, it is a process. It is not meant to be conquered but experienced. Like the river, it will find its way even if we try to dam it. Resistance only creates tension, while surrender opens the door to harmony. This does not mean giving up or passively allowing life to happen to us. Instead, it means recognizing the limits of our control and trusting that there is a larger wisdom at play. When we stop resisting, we start participating. We become co-creators with the universe, responding to its cues rather than forcing our own. Imagine a dancer moving to music. The dancer does not try to control the rhythm but listens, feeling the beat and moving in sync with it. This is what it means to flow with life, to dance with its rhythm rather than fight against it. The challenges we face are part of this flow. The river encounters rocks and rapids but does not stop or retreat. It finds a way around, over, or through, always moving forward. Similarly, life's obstacles are not roadblocks, they are invitations to grow. They shape us, deepen our understanding, and teach us resilience. Trusting the flow of life means embracing these challenges as part of the journey, knowing that they too have a purpose. There is a profound freedom in this trust. When we stop clinging to what we think life should be, we discover the beauty of what it is. We learn to see opportunities in the unexpected, to find joy in the present moment. The river does not mourn the bends it must take or the detours it encounters. It simply flows, and in doing so, it reaches the vastness of the ocean. Living in flow does not require special skills or deep philosophical knowledge. It is something we already know how to do. Think of the times when you felt completely immersed in an activity, lost in the moment, without concern for the past or the future. These are moments of flow when you are fully aligned with life's rhythm. The key is to carry this awareness into all aspects of your life, trusting that the universe is carrying you exactly where you need to go. This trust is not a denial of effort or ambition. It is a recognition that effort is most effective when it aligns with the current of life. Like a kayaker navigating a river, you can paddle with the flow, using its power to guide you forward. Struggling against the current, however, only exhausts you. Trusting life's flow means knowing when to paddle and when to let the river carry you. As we embrace the flow of life, we begin to see that we are not separate from it. We are the river and the one it carries. We are part of a vast, interconnected system where every moment, every experience has its place. Trusting this flow is not an act of submission, it is an act of freedom. It allows us to live fully, to experience life as it is, and to move with grace and ease through its ever-changing waters. So let us release our resistance and trust the current. Let us float knowing that the river knows its way. In the flow of life, there is no need to fight, no need to fear. There is only the journey, the rhythm, and the boundless trust that we are exactly where we are meant to be. Take a moment to consider the intricate web of life surrounding us. Every breath we take connects us to the trees, which release the oxygen we need and take in the carbon dioxide we exhale. The food we eat comes from the soil, nourished by the sun and rain, cultivated by hands near and far. Even the ground beneath us is shaped by forces spanning millennia. This interconnectedness is not a poetic notion but a fundamental reality. Everything in existence is bound together in an intricate, seamless whole, and trusting the universe begins with understanding this truth. Life is not a collection of isolated events or entities. It is a continuous dance of relationships, where each part influences and is influenced by the others. A wave on the ocean does not exist apart from the water. It is not a thing in itself, but a movement, an expression of the ocean as a whole. In the same way, each of us is a part of the greater flow of existence. We are not separate beings navigating a world outside ourselves. We are participants in the unfolding of the universe, inseparable from its rhythm. The illusion of separateness, however, is deeply ingrained in us. We think of ourselves as individuals, distinct and independent, forging our paths in a world that we must control. This perspective often leads to feelings of loneliness, fear, and disconnection. But when we look deeper, we see that this separateness is only surface level. Beneath it lies a profound unity, a recognition that we are all threads in the same vast tapestry. Trusting the universe means trusting that we are part of something much larger, a wholeness that we can neither fully comprehend nor control. This interconnectedness is evident everywhere in nature. Consider a forest. The trees may stand as individuals, but beneath the surface their roots are intertwined, sharing nutrients and information through a vast network of fungi. The health of one tree contributes to the health of the whole forest. In the same way, our actions, thoughts, and intentions ripple outward, affecting others in ways we may never see. A kind word, a small gesture of compassion, or even a moment of stillness can send waves through the world, touching lives far beyond our immediate sphere. Recognizing our interconnectedness shifts how we perceive challenges and uncertainties. When we trust the universe, we trust that we are not alone in facing life's difficulties. Just as the wave relies on the ocean for its existence, we can lean into the support of the larger whole. This trust does not mean that struggles will disappear, but it reminds us that we are held within a web of connections, where even the hardest moments have their place. Interconnectedness also teaches us humility and gratitude. When we understand that our lives depend on countless unseen contributions, we begin to appreciate the miracle of existence. The food on our table is the result of a chain of efforts from the farmers who grew it to the earth that sustained it. The air we breathe connects us to every living being that has ever lived. Gratitude arises naturally when we see how deeply embedded we are in this web of life. This understanding can transform the way we live. Trusting the universe becomes less about seeking control and more about participating in the dance of interconnectedness. It invites us to listen, to observe, and to act in harmony with the whole. Just as a musician in an orchestra listens to the other players and responds to the conductor's cues, we can align ourselves with life's rhythm, contributing our unique notes to the symphony. Interconnectedness also brings a sense of belonging. Many of us feel lost or out of place at times, as if we are searching for where we fit in. But the truth is, you already belong. You are an essential part of the universe, just as a wave is an essential part of the ocean. There is no need to prove your worth or earn your place. By simply existing, you are contributing to the whole. Trusting this reality allows you to let go of self-doubt and live with confidence and peace. As we embrace this truth, we begin to see ourselves in others. The barriers of separation dissolve, and compassion naturally arises. we realize that the joy and suffering of another are not apart from our own. Trusting the universe means trusting that we are all in this together, bound by an invisible thread that connects every heart, every being, and every moment. In the end, interconnectedness reminds us that we are not just observers of life, we are participants. Every thought, every action, every breath contributes to the unfolding of the whole. Trusting the universe is about leaning into this connection, knowing that we are not solitary travelers but part of a grand, interwoven journey. And in this unity there is a profound peace, a recognition that everything, including us, belongs exactly where it is. Growth is one of the most natural processes in existence. Everywhere you look in nature, growth happens without strain or resistance. The trees do not struggle to rise toward the sun. The flowers do not force themselves to bloom. Even the rivers do not labor to carve their paths, they simply follow the contours of the earth, guided by gravity and time. This effortless growth is not passive, it is a harmonious response to the conditions of life. It is a reminder that when we align with the flow of the universe, growth happens naturally, without unnecessary struggle. In our own lives, we often forget this truth. We have been taught to equate growth with effort, with striving, and with relentless hard work. We push ourselves to achieve, to improve, to become more than we are, often at the expense of our peace and well-being. But growth does not have to be a battle. In fact, the most profound and lasting growth happens when we stop fighting and start trusting the natural rhythms of life. Consider a seed planted in the soil. It doesn't force itself to grow, it simply responds to its environment. The warmth of the sun, the nourishment of the earth, and the touch of the rain are all it needs to break open and begin its journey. The seed trusts the process, not because it understands it, but because it is in its nature to grow. This same principle applies to us. When we stop trying to control every aspect of our lives and instead trust the conditions around us, we too can grow with ease and grace. Effortless growth does not mean the absence of effort altogether. It means the absence of resistance. It is about working with the flow of life, rather than against it. Imagine swimming in a river. If you swim with the current, your strokes propel you forward effortlessly. But if you swim against it, every movement becomes a struggle. The current of life is always flowing, and when we align our efforts with it, growth becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Challenges and obstacles are often seen as disruptions to growth, but they are, in fact, integral to it. The tree grows stronger as it bends in the wind. The caterpillar must struggle within its cocoon to transform into a butterfly. These struggles are not hindrances, they are part of the process. When we view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than as barriers, we open ourselves to transformation. Trusting the universe means trusting that every experience, even the difficult ones, contributes to our growth. One of the keys to effortless growth is patience. Just as the seed does not bloom overnight, our growth unfolds in its own time. We live in a world that often demands immediate results, leading us to rush or force outcomes. But true growth cannot be hurried. It requires trust in the process and faith in the unseen forces at work. The universe has its timing, and when we align with it, we find that everything unfolds exactly as it should. Another aspect of effortless growth is the willingness to let go of control. Growth is not about imposing our will on life, but about allowing life to shape us. Just as the river shapes the stones in its path, life shapes us through its flow. When we resist, we create tension and delay the process. But when we surrender, we become like clay in the hands of an artist, molded into something beautiful and unique. Effortless growth also comes from trusting in our own innate potential. The seed does not doubt that it can become a tree. It simply grows because that is its nature. Similarly, we have within us everything we need to grow and thrive. The universe has already equipped us with the tools and abilities required for our journey. Trusting this inner potential allows us to grow confidently and authentically. This approach to growth invites us to live in harmony with life. It reminds us that we do not need to force ourselves into becoming something we are not. Growth is not about adding layers to ourselves, but about uncovering what is already within us. Like a sculpture emerging from a block of marble, our true selves are revealed through the process of living, responding, and trusting. Ultimately, effortless growth is a dance with the universe. It is about listening to the cues of life, responding with intention, and trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. It is about recognizing that growth is not a destination but an ongoing process, one that is as natural and inevitable as the rising of the sun. So let us stop fighting against the current. Let us trust the process, knowing that the universe is on our side. Growth is not something we must chase, it is something we allow. When we align with the rhythm of life, we grow not through struggle but through grace. And in this effortless growth, we discover the beauty and purpose of our existence. Life is filled with challenges, moments of difficulty that test our patience, resilience, and understanding. These moments often appear as obstacles, things to overcome or avoid. But what if we could see challenges not as roadblocks but as stepping stones? What if we embrace them as essential parts of the journey, opportunities for growth, transformation, and deeper connection to the universe? Every challenge we face has a purpose, even if it's not immediately clear. Like the shaping of a diamond under immense pressure, our greatest struggles often mold us into stronger, wiser, and more compassionate beings. Embracing challenges begins with a shift in perspective. Instead of viewing them as misfortunes or punishments, we can see them as teachers. Each challenge offers a lesson, and each lesson brings us closer to understanding ourselves and the flow of life. When we resist challenges, they can feel overwhelming, as though we are swimming against the current of a powerful river. Resistance creates tension, frustration, and often a sense of helplessness. But challenges are not meant to be resisted, they are meant to be engaged with. Much like a river that flows over rocks and rapids, we can learn to navigate life's difficulties by working with them, not against them. The river doesn't stop when it encounters a boulder, it flows around it, over it, or even wears it down over time. Embracing challenges requires trust in the process, trust in ourselves, and trust in the universe. It's about recognizing that life is not out to get us, but rather to guide us. Every challenge carries within it the seed of growth. Just as a seed must break open in the soil to grow into a tree, we too must sometimes break open to reach our full potential. This breaking open can be uncomfortable, even painful, but it is an essential part of the process. One of the greatest gifts challenges bring is the opportunity to learn about ourselves. In moments of difficulty, we discover what we are truly made of. We uncover strengths we didn't know we had, and we confront fears and limitations that have held us back. Challenges push us out of our comfort zones, forcing us to grow in ways we might never have chosen on our own. They remind us of our resilience, our ability to adapt, and our capacity to rise above even the most daunting circumstances. Challenges also connect us to others. When we face hardship, we often reach out for support, and in doing so, we build deeper connections. The shared experience of overcoming difficulties creates bonds of empathy and understanding. It reminds us that we are not alone, that others have faced similar struggles and emerged stronger. This sense of shared humanity is a powerful reminder of our interconnectedness, our place in the vast web of life. Another aspect of embracing challenges is learning to let go of the need for immediate answers or solutions. Sometimes the lessons of a challenge take time to reveal themselves. We may not understand why something is happening in the moment, but with patience and trust, clarity often emerges. It's like hiking a steep mountain trail. The climb may be arduous, but the view from the top is worth every step. In the same way, challenges often bring rewards that we can only appreciate once we've moved through them. Embracing challenges doesn't mean we have to face them alone or without fear. It's okay to feel uncertain or even afraid when confronted with difficulty. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. When we embrace challenges, we acknowledge our fears without letting them control us. We take one step at a time, trusting that the path will unfold as we go. The universe has a way of giving us exactly what we need to grow, even if it doesn't look like what we want. Challenges often come disguised as setbacks or failures, but they are actually opportunities in disguise. They invite us to dig deeper, to find creative solutions, and to tap into the infinite potential within us. By embracing challenges, we transform them from burdens into blessings, from obstacles into opportunities. In the end, challenges are not just tests of strength or endurance, they are invitations to evolve. They remind us of the dynamic, ever-changing nature of life and our role within it. When we embrace them, we align ourselves with the flow of the universe, trusting that every difficulty is part of a larger design. So, let us meet life's challenges with open hearts and minds. Let us trust that even in the darkest moments there is light waiting to emerge. Challenges are not here to break us, they are here to build us, to shape us into the fullest expression of who we are meant to be. And in embracing them, we find not just growth, but a deeper connection to the vast, beautiful mystery of life. Freedom is a word that carries immense weight in our lives. It is something we all seek, often believing it lies in acquiring more control, more certainty, more possessions, or more power. But true freedom is not found in holding on, it is discovered in letting go. Letting go is not an act of giving up, but an act of release, a surrender to the flow of life that liberates us from the chains of fear, attachment, and control. Letting go begins with recognizing how tightly we cling to the illusion of control. We try to manage every detail of our lives, believing that if we can just hold on tightly enough, we can avoid pain, failure, or disappointment. But life is inherently unpredictable, and this need for control only creates tension and anxiety. Letting go does not mean abandoning responsibility or effort, it means trusting that the universe has its own rhythm and wisdom. It means understanding that while we can influence the course of our lives, we cannot dictate it. When we let go, we allow ourselves to move with life's current instead of fighting against it. Imagine trying to hold on to a handful of sand. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. But if you hold your hand open, the sand rests gently in your palm. Life is much the same. The more we cling to outcomes, expectations, or the past, the more we lose our sense of peace and freedom. But when we loosen our grip, we make space for life to unfold naturally. Letting go is also about releasing attachment to specific outcomes. We often tie our happiness and sense of self-worth to achieving certain goals or meeting certain expectations. While goals can guide us, clinging to them can trap us. Life rarely unfolds exactly as we plan, and when we are rigid in our expectations, we set ourselves up for frustration and disappointment. Letting go means embracing uncertainty and trusting that whatever happens is part of a larger process, even if it's not what we envisioned. This act of release extends beyond our goals to include our relationships, our fears, and even our sense of identity. We often hold on to people, ideas, or ways of being out of fear of loss, fear of change, or fear of the unknown. But clinging to what no longer serves us only creates suffering. Letting go allows us to make room for growth, new connections, and fresh possibilities. It frees us to live authentically, unburdened by the weight of what we think we must hold on to. Letting go also means releasing the past. We all carry stories, wounds, and regrets that shape how we see ourselves and the world. While these experiences are valuable, holding on to them too tightly can prevent us from moving forward. The past is like an anchor, it can ground us with its lessons, but if we refuse to let go, it can keep us stuck. Freedom comes when we honor the past without letting it define us, trusting that we are more than our history. In the same way, letting go involves surrendering our fears about the future. We often worry about what might happen, trying to prepare for every possible scenario. But this constant preoccupation with the future pulls us out of the present moment, where life is actually happening. When we let go of the need to control what lies ahead, we free ourselves to fully experience the here and now. The paradox of letting go is that in surrendering control, we gain a deeper sense of freedom and power. Letting go is not about weakness or passivity, it is about recognizing the strength that comes from trust. When we let go, we trust in the flow of life, in our own resilience, and in the interconnectedness of all things. We trust that even in uncertainty, we are supported by something greater than ourselves. Freedom through letting go is a practice, not a one-time decision. It requires mindfulness and courage, as well as the willingness to face our fears and step into the unknown. Each time we let go of something, be it a fear, a belief, or an attachment, we create space for new possibilities to emerge. We open ourselves to the boundless potential of life, unencumbered by the weight of our expectations or worries. Ultimately, letting go is an act of liberation. It frees us to live with lightness, authenticity, and joy. It allows us to be fully present, to flow with life rather than against it. And in that flow, we discover that freedom is not about having control over everything, but about being at peace with what is. Letting go is not the end of the journey, it is the beginning of living freely, fully, and in harmony with the vast, unfolding universe. Living with trust is an act of courage and grace. It means embracing life in all its uncertainty and complexity with an open heart, knowing that beneath the surface chaos lies a profound order. Trusting the universe is not about blind faith or passive acceptance, it is about aligning ourselves with the deeper flow of existence, believing in the inherent wisdom of life, and recognizing our place within it. This trust frees us from fear, liberates us from the need for control, and allows us to live with a sense of ease and purpose. At its core, trust is about connection. It is understanding that we are not separate from the world around us, but deeply intertwined with it. The universe is not an indifferent force, it is a dynamic, living system in which everything is connected. When we trust, we acknowledge that we are part of this greater whole. We let go of the illusion that we must do everything alone and allow ourselves to be supported by life's currents. Trusting life does not mean that challenges and uncertainties will disappear. It means learning to see those challenges as opportunities rather than threats. When we trust, we recognize that every experience, even the difficult ones, has value. Just as storms nourish the earth and clear the air, the struggles we face often prepare us for growth and transformation. Trust invites us to approach these moments with curiosity rather than resistance, asking, "What can I learn from this?" instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" Living with trust requires us to let go of the need for certainty. Much of our fear and anxiety comes from the desire to know exactly what will happen next. But life is inherently unpredictable. Trying to control every aspect of it is not only impossible, but also exhausting. Trust allows us to step into the unknown with confidence, believing that whatever unfolds will be for our highest good. It is about releasing the need to have all the answers, and instead embracing the mystery of life. This sense of trust extends to ourselves as well. Living with trust means believing in our own abilities, instincts, and resilience. It is recognizing that we are equipped to navigate life's twists and turns, even when the path is unclear. Self-trust is not about having all the solutions, it is about knowing that we can adapt, learn, and grow through whatever comes our way. It is about quieting the inner critic and listening to the voice of wisdom within us. Trust also deepens our relationships with others. When we trust, we open ourselves to vulnerability, allowing for authentic connections. Trusting others does not mean expecting them to be perfect, it means believing in their intentions and seeing them as fellow travelers on the journey of life. It allows us to forgive, to let go of past grievances, and to approach relationships with a spirit of compassion and understanding. One of the most profound aspects of living with trust is the freedom it brings. Trust liberates us from the constant need to control, to prove or to protect ourselves from imagined dangers. It allows us to live with a sense of ease, knowing that we are supported by something greater than ourselves. This freedom is not about carelessness, it is about living with intention and awareness while letting go of the fear that holds us back. Trusting the universe does not mean that life will always be easy or that we will always get what we want. It means accepting that life unfolds in ways we cannot always predict or understand, but that these unfolding moments are part of a greater design. Trust is about seeing the beauty in the process, even when the destination is unclear. It is about believing that life's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't align with our expectations. Living with trust is a practice. It is something we cultivate moment by moment, especially in times of doubt or fear. It requires mindfulness, a willingness to let go, and a commitment to being present. Trust grows as we take small steps, choosing to believe in life's goodness even when the path ahead seems uncertain. Over time, this practice becomes a way of being, a foundation upon which we can build a life of meaning and joy. Ultimately, trust is a declaration of faith in the interconnectedness and wisdom of existence. It is about aligning ourselves with the flow of life, letting go of resistance, and embracing the unfolding journey with an open heart. In trusting the universe, we find not only peace, but also a profound sense of belonging and purpose. Life becomes less about striving and more about participating, less about fear and more about love. Trust is the bridge that connects us to the infinite possibilities of existence, allowing us to live fully, freely, and harmoniously. In the end, living with trust is not about naivety or ignoring life's challenges. It is about embracing life with courage, openness, and faith. It is about releasing the tight grip of fear and control and stepping into the flow of existence, knowing that the universe is vast, wise, and interconnected. Trust allows us to move through uncertainty with grace, to face adversity with resilience, and to experience joy without hesitation. When we trust, we align ourselves with the rhythm of life, becoming participants in its dance rather than mere observers. We begin to see every moment, whether joyful, painful, or mundane, as a piece of a larger, beautiful tapestry. Trust frees us to live authentically, to connect deeply with ourselves and others, and to uncover the boundless possibilities that await when we surrender to life's unfolding. So let us live with trust, not as a fleeting thought, but as a way of being. Let us step forward with open hearts and steady spirits, knowing that we are part of something extraordinary. In trust, we find the freedom to be, to grow, and to fully experience the wonder of life.